My main man, Sedric Griffin, understands fully what it's going to take out the Georgia Bulldogs.
You are Locked On Georgia Tech, your daily podcast on the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into the Locked On Georgia Tech. I am your host, Jarvis Davis, and ride with me today, I have Georgia Tech football alum, our main man, Sedric Griffin. I want to start off by saying thank you for making Locked On Georgia Tech your first listen today. It is because of you that we are now the #1 sports podcast network. Coming up a little bit later on, I'm going to get Cedric's thoughts on the game this Friday, and also I want to ask him, kind of pick his brain as to whether or not Brent Key can take this program to the next level. But first, I got to start off with this said. When you think about the rivalry, old-fashioned hate,
hate.
I don't even say their name. You know what I'm saying? I say the team on 316. You know what I'm saying? That's how I refer to them as. So, kind of take me back to where when you were a player and getting ready for that game, and kind of like, what was your mindset going into those games? Because you had a task on your hand when you was going into those games.
Absolutely. When I first got here as a freshman, that was with Calvin, with Tashard, with Reggie, guys from the city. Like I said, I'm from South Carolina, so I'm Clemson, USC. But they put me on early. They indoctrinated me early. Like, they don't like us and we don't like them. So it became clearly obvious that when that game came around, you brought your A game. It was gonna be pad popping. So you tie your chin strap up and let's get to it.
Yeah, I think that's the thing when you talk about those rivalries. And a lot of times there's some crossover, right, with some guys, because I remember Reggie talking about being recruited by Georgia, and they didn't want him to play quarterback.
Right.
And he's like, you know what? All right, y'all don't want me to play quarterback. It's between Tech and Auburn. I'm going to stay at the crib, and we're going to have to see each other every year. So when you think about it from that aspect of it, there's always that crossover, guys that you went on recruiting trips with. And so you think about it, it means a lot, man, because that team up the road gets a lot of love, and
a lot of love.
And I know a lot of people. I know we talk about pre-show, man. Hey, man, if I grew up I ain't go to Tech, but I grew up in Atlanta. I grew up rooting for Georgia Tech,
right?
Because it was the team that's in my city. That's what I'm gonna ride with. So I think about that, man. Is there like a moment that you remember from a game, or whether it be a practice leading up to it, that you say, like, this kind of speaks to what this rivalry is? Or is there a big play that you remember thinking back to those games where you're like, all right, yeah, I was balling that game?
Man, I you don't want to get mad because you think about all those plays. Just the first game, just think about the stars in that game. I want to say the 06 game, that was Matthew Stafford's first. Maybe he started that game. But just seeing that the physicality of that game, go down to the wire, we have multiple chances to win. Come down to a few controversial calls, of course. We in Georgia.
Yes.
But
just
remember that with that 15-12 game with I believe Stafford here in Massaquoi at the end of the game. Also, my first year with Coach Johnson, 08. Unfortunately, I tore my MCL the Miami game, so I didn't get to experience that win, but I'm just on the sideline, just feeling the energy. We were down with 2-3 touchdowns, and, and just seeing the guys around me from Dwyer, Morgan, Burnett, my RP, my guy Bebe, man, we still had the belief, like, we're going to do this, and see those guys, put the team on their back and, come back and get that victory. And, and the first thought was, what? We're going to savor this moment. Let's go get some of those hedges.
Yes, sir.
Let's go get some of those hedges.
I need that, right?
I need that. So just that moment right there, even though I was unable to, perform, to get that taste of hedge in my mouth, that sweet taste of victory right there. Okay, like, now we're here. we belong and we're gonna be here for a while. So just that feeling right there, man.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned Paul Johnson because there was a transition where Chan Gailey was the
Yeah.
head coach when he first came in, and then Paul ends up coming in 08. Like, what was that change like? Because I think that we can definitely see the change between Jeff Collins and Brent Key.
Yes.
What was that change for you? What like really stood out to you when Paul Johnson came in?
I describe it as going from probably Chateau Elan to maybe Rice Street, or going to a med spa to it's gonna be rough and tough, like longest yard type deal.
I got you.
Like everything it felt like a pro atmosphere with Chan Gailey. Everything was kind of lax. It was a little more, more so focused on the mental side. Like, you're gonna understand the game. We're gonna keep you fresh. We're gonna take care of you. When Coach Johnson got there, well, first of all, he must brought the sun and heat with him. Like, that was probably the hottest summer I ever had to endure. Like,
he brought some of that Statesboro heat.
Yeah, you ask anybody about that 08 camp, and the first thing they're going to talk about is that heat, like that heat in the 2 days. And what made Coach Johnson him was his competitive drive. There was nobody more competitive than him. Like, practice didn't end until his offense was on top. Like, he was gonna make sure that he was gonna make sure that we didn't get the best of him, and he lit that competitive fire on everybody. So just going from that transition, like, okay, we got it mentally, we got the talent, but just that feels that toughness, that alpha dog he put in everybody. That was probably the biggest difference, going into that season and into 09 to actually winning the ACC.
Yeah, and so you win the ACC championship in 09, right? And that is the last time that Georgia Tech has won the ACC championship. I gotta ask this: like, do you still have your ring?
I think my mom have it, but I got all my other stuff. I got my jersey. I still wear my book bag. Actually, I was going to post that, and I'm waiting hoping the other guys can get one of those also ACC champion backpacks, so they can carry it with them. Because I take that with pride, man. Like,
sure,
it feels good to come to a place that to say, hey, Georgia run this state or whatever, to get that win, not the 09 year, but to actually build something, provide a foundation for something. Hopefully there was the bounce go forward with it. They give them a blueprint or a template of how to do things going forward.
Yeah, and I think that kind of fast forward to Saturday and kind of just talking about that game and how coming into that game, that was like what you talked about. It was on the plate. Like,
it was on the plate.
It was on the plate.
It was on the plate.
All you had to do was eat. And I just want to I know, there's some thoughts and feels about that game. I just want to kind of get your initial thoughts after that game. And then I know you said you went back and watched the film, and like, what are some of your initial thoughts about that game, and kind of where do you see this team like currently?
Well, let's first establish, man, that this has been regardless of people. I don't buy into the week schedule BS, because that's some hindsight stuff. Nobody projected Georgia Tech to be what they are right now. Let's get that out of the way first. So, my initial thoughts were, this was the first game that this didn't look like a key identity. Like, we didn't play to our identity. This wasn't the tough, rugged. This wasn't all out effort. We didn't play like a key character led team Friday. We looked like the moment was a little too big for us. We looked like Key always emphasizing hey, we just play the next play. We don't look at the scoreboard. He doesn't care about the results as long as the effort was there. And this was one of the first time I could say the effort wasn't to a key level, a key standard, and it showed on the results right there. So that's my initial thoughts just looking at it. And as regards, I guess, your second question, I know we talk about the foundation of what needs to happen next is that like I said, I was such a big Key fan because I believe when Key 4 years, when they had the 10-game schedule, Key, they won 34 games. My 4 years here, and I believe we won 36 games. So I say all that to say we been in part of some of the golden ages of Georgia Tech, and I'm a big fan of Key because of that. He know what it takes. He know what it takes to win big games. He know what it takes to. He been a part of championship programs at Bama. What he had as a player, what they did at UCF. I'm pretty sure he was part of that. What was it, Blake Borders? But anyway, the success he had at UCF also. So he understands what it takes and what it's going to take to not only be ACC championship, but also get in the playoffs. We this close right here. And he talks about it all the time. Playing with your food. We play with our food Friday, and we in a unfortunate situation that we don't control our destiny, and it is what it is. So got to continue to recruit. Got to instill that toughness throughout the board. Got to show up every week. Can't have slow starts. Can't think we're gonna just flip a switch and it's gonna be what it is every game. Like you have to bring your A game every time, like every second of the game. So
yeah, man. I think that just thinking about that game and looking back and going going live right after the game, people kind of looked at me kind of crazy because I thought that Blake Gideon had the perfect game plan.
Yeah,
I think he had the perfect game plan. It was just some execution issues, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, some execution.
Because you as a coach, you have to understand what you're working with from a personnel standpoint.
Absolutely.
Those that's just what it is. Like, people can take offense to it, but that's kind of just what it is. That's how it works. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game or you want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Hopefully the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets don't have to worry about coming back against the Georgia Bulldogs. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. So if you want to go to the NBA, how about the Atlanta Hawks? They've been doing their thing as of late, so make sure you check them out. It keeps the game exciting, especially when your team is making that late push. So right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. This episode is also brought to you by Omaha Steaks. The holidays always feel a little easier when you already know the perfect gift. And Omaha Steaks makes it almost too simple. Whether you're treating yourself this season or you're sending something memorable to family and friends, Omaha Steaks delivers handcrafted perfection right to their door, especially if they don't know how to cook. You want to make sure they eat good on this good holiday. And this week is the best time to jump in because their cyber sale is here. And the deals are huge. They're huge, I tell you. Also, the quality is exactly what you hope for, including incredibly tender steaks, rich flavor, and meals that make hosting or weeknight cooking easier. Honestly, it's the kind of gift that brings people together, and that's exactly what you want to do on Thanksgiving. And you don't need to guess any one size, just the size of their belly. So save big on unforgettable gifts with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide and an extra 20% off select favorites during their cyber sale. And for additional $35 off, use promo code COLLEGE at checkout. That's omahasteaks.com, promo code COLLEGE. Terms apply. See sites for details. something that's kind of bothered me that I've been hearing, and I want to get your thoughts on this. Like, people have been calling for Blake Gideon's head. I'll just be honest. Like, a lot of commenters on a YouTube channel and on social, it's just been raging. Like, this is his first year as a play caller, right?
Yes.
He's a former player, so there's that connection that you have automatically when you walk in a room. So I feel like I'm not into the whole hiring and firing stuff. I feel like you should work through those things if you see the issues, especially as the head coach. If I see it, like, hey man, here's what we should be doing in these particular moments.
Right.
And I think they did that. I think
Right.
Coach Key and Gideon did that. What say you when it comes to people saying, hey, Blake Gideon needs to be fired, he needs to find another guy? Like, are you in that boat, or are you more so on the side of, hey, let's work through this thing?
People get on me about this all the time. To me, coaching is overrated. I can show you what to do. Maybe like it may be a language barrier. There might be some things in there. Some things might get lost in translation.
Sure.
But end of the day, I have to. If I'm putting you in a situation to succeed, in which I saw quite a bit.
Yeah.
It is up to you to make the play.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I can't tackle for you. I can't, catch the ball for you. I can't make the sack for you. You have to ultimately make the play. So to answer your question, I'm not there yet, but there do need to be changes or some things tweaked. Like I said, there's something getting lost in translation. We talked about it before, whether it's the force on the run contains, run fits. There's something that's getting lost in translation of how we're going to execute this defense, execute this scheme, because I got clips now from going back to Syracuse. They ran the same run the last 5 weeks, and that run has resulted in a 40-yard gain plus or a touchdown every week.
Yeah.
So you have to ask yourself, as key as, like I said, this is above my pay grade, man.
Sure.
You have to ask yourself, can I do better than this?
Yeah.
Now, can I do better than this? And will I be supported by the AA, that they will provide me the resources to get that top guy to come here also? So if I do not have, like I said, I don't think Gideon's necessarily bad. There's been a mix of both, some coaching issues. I was like, but also there's been some player issues. But if you feel like you can fix those, go ahead and do it. Because if you fire Gideon, this will be either the 4th or 5th year with a new DC.
Yes.
So
that's the thing.
That's the thing. So
ends up going to the NFL, and obviously, like, that's why I say I'm not into the hire and firing thing, because when you start to hire and fire, you continue to hire and fire.
Exactly. So right. So I mean, there's a lot of people I talked with that knew or felt in their heart that this was a championship level team, and Gideon was the choice to come along the ride with the championship level team, and they proved us, for the most part, right. This was a team that's capable of getting to the ACC championship this year and to the college playoff. So if you feel that you're not going to be able to do that with this staff, with Gideon, then you have to do what's necessary. Me personally, I'll make some tweaks here and there and try to run it back, try to get some type of continuity with the team. But I can understand people, frustrations of seeing consistent issues week to week that's not being rectified. So, but like I said, I'm not in the hire and fire business, but I can understand the strife. But I think so. Give them the tools. Give them the tools. Whether that's players, whether that's better assistants or whatnot. I think there's something there with scheme wise that can help us elevate next year. So I would be willing to keep him, honestly.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, and because that's the thing where if you don't establish your expectation as a head coach, this is the guy you hired,
Right.
If you find him after 1 year, that's an indictment on you. And I don't think Key is built like that because he obviously saw something in him to bring him in. You know what I mean? To give him opportunity. So we'll see how that plays out. All right, man. Got to get you out of here with this. I'm not gonna ask for a prediction because I don't really believe in that type of stuff. But I will say
I don't bet against Tech anyway. So whatever it was gonna be Tech win, it was gonna be some nice score anyway. So just put that out there.
So let me go. So let me just go and throw it out there. All right, 3:30, Mercedes-Benz is going down. How do you see that game playing out?
We got two teams that start slow.
Oh, yes.
We have two teams that tend to play with their food. We've seen Georgia versus UL, Florida versus Kentucky.
Yeah.
Tennessee to an extent kind of get through go through a little malaise before they finally turn it on. I'm not sure if Tech UGA can afford to do that with Tech. Especially, there's been no other OC that has been able to counter Kirby's defense like Buster Faulkner. So I'm not sure Georgia can afford to start slow and vice versa. Georgia O-line might not be the same as it was 2-3 years ago, but they still can run the ball.
Sure.
If we decide that, we're not going to fit the run, we're not going to, have contain, we're not going to do our job on the defense, we're not going to play physical, we're not going to bring the same effort that we have brought, throughout the season, it could be a long day. It could be a shootout, in my opinion. And that's ultimately what I really see. I see a shootout, something similar to last season. We just have to limit mistakes, no turnovers, and let's go from there. It will be a good game. I don't foresee this Pitt game, following us until Friday. But
I'm with you on that. I'm definitely gonna keep an eye on it, man. And Devin said his name is Sedric Griffin. Make sure you guys check him out. Seddy Pendergrass on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? The best handle on the net right now.
I said it. Yes, this one.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So I said it. Make sure you give him a follow on X. And we'll be definitely keeping in touch, man. We'll be tweeting each other, dropping DMs, cussing.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be watching this game on Friday, man, with a full belly, and hopefully Tech can come out on top.
Absolutely, we will. I'm putting it in the air. We will. Hey, go Tech.
All right. I want to thank you guys for rocking with Locked On Georgia Tech. Like I said, thank you for making your first listen. For your second listen, why don't you check out Locked On ACC? Main man Kenton Gibbs and Alex Donald got you covered with all the ACC coverage and all the ACC hate. It happens. It happens. So we appreciate you guys for making us the #1 sports podcast network. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. To hell with Georgia.